In the other video, I was talking about to-datsu, transparent and falling off, meaning the brain or the mind clutter is thrown away, and you feel transparent. To is transparent, and datsu is falling off. And his expression, Dogen expression, is mind and body fall off. So I pointed that such is the case that I felt when I was watching the poplar leaves. I felt like I'm a deer. And what I mean is that I was not the human with the mind, but the same construct. They have the eyes and smelly, nose and looking at the poplar leaves. And I thought, oh, yeah, that's right. I can feel like I was a deer. So this may sound so stupid, but I'm serious. So that's samadhi state of no mind and no self. You're with the nature. And I felt so good about it. And I also feel transparency inside of me, which I have had, but I'm clarifying as if to communicate to the audience as much as myself about this spirituality and the meaning of the samadhi and the sense of it. And obviously it's a subjective experience and difficult to transfer. So Zen is tough to transfer, except for the people, the monks, to sit and meditate or go through koan until they go through this breakthrough moment, awakening. And in my case, I did it with the Vipassana and 10-day course, and 8th day. I was in the pain, and I could come out of it because I thought, why I'm having the pain? Is that because I'm trying to escape from the pain? And as soon as I thought like that, whether you can do the same trick in your case, I don't know if you try it, probably it doesn't work because I was in such a pain and I opened up my eyes, oh, okay. And then in that brief moment, things happen in the sense of energy is welling up, finding the passage so that the whole thing just exploded in a way that my body was shaking and I was in ecstasy. I posted in my note, which I may share this in this description too, for this 10-day course and how it happened. But you cannot just trace back to go through the same experience that I had because everyone's different. In Eckhart Tolle's case, I may have shared that he almost committed suicide several times, and then one evening he was crucifying himself and asked himself, I can't stand myself anymore. And at the time he stopped and thought, is that me asking myself that I don't, what's going on there, two me's? And then that triggered him to get off from the caught up mind of pain and suffering and want to commit suicide into, oh, there's a different dimension of this. And next morning he saw the world look different. And he couldn't understand that because it just happened. Just like in my case, I talked to the assistant teacher, but there's not much discussion. I couldn't go anywhere, and then I studied, and then like the Eckhart case, I can see that. But in my case, that was 52 years old, and he was like 36 or something. I think he and I am about the same age of 76. So it took for me from 52 to go back and forth, have this sense of transparency, like to-datsu. I have it. And if you try to have it, you won't have it because you're trying in your mind. So when the mind gives up into the state of samadhi, no mind and no self, no wish, because self is gone. You are like a deer watching the leaves on the poplar tree and at peace. You're carrying the heavy brain functioning, money, fame, yesterday and tomorrow, and what happened. And in fact, I had this my condo was burned down. I'm laughing because about 6-7 hours ago, because Palisades fire was going on, and my friend and tenant, he was there and sent me, because I asked him, the picture, and he's even sent me the video, which I can share, but it's too depressing to watch. So I had like 10 of those watching, and that was this morning around maybe 10 o'clock or something. It's 5 o'clock, like 7 hours ago. And in that 7 hours, so that's the interesting part too. And again, this is my experience, and you may not appreciate or feel anything about it. And you think this guy is crazy, but to me it's interesting, and speaking also may help me clarify the passage and what this stuff is about. So from 10 o'clock or so, I thought about, okay, what's the implication? Insurance and lots of paperwork. Oh, well, why couldn't I have this, that? But I didn't dwell on it. And then I thought, oh, but, I developed this living trust so that all the stuff that I have, 95% of it goes to Vipassana organization. So when the building is done, and by the time I may die or whatever, but this organization can take over, and I don't need to own anything anyway. So they're gonna take care of it, and they may process it, the money, maybe selling this condo or other stuff that they're gonna get when I pass away. And that's such a great feeling that, okay, I can live with it. It's actually, that was a great idea that I thought of doing it, because then I don't have much of a worry about who to go where and all that, because the idea was to have people to have opportunity to go through Vipassana in this case, because I think it was well managed in the sense nobody's getting paid, basically, and it's only go with the donation, and they can build more facilities and having more people, assistant teachers, help teaching the meditation, which I gonna benefit from. And the result of that is that you have the liberation potential and go through this by itself on 10 days. It's a huge deal for anyone. Nobody may want to do it. But for those who had some energy, spirit, something has to be done in my life. That kind of stuff. In my case, I had this Zen idea for years. Not maybe years, but I don't know, from 30 to 52, so 20 some years. I studied this and that, and I haven't quite gotten it. Although I went to Zen center and meditated and went through koan and all that. But long story short, I had the opportunity. Therefore, this is the best way that I can, or I don't, by contributing my, inheritance money so that more people can benefit, and possibly they go through this with some sense of how to go over the difficulties in life. And I think that's really what we need. Empowered people, not to be told by someone to do whatever, but rather to be self-sufficient. And that requires some energy, the spirit, challenging spirit. So that's the idea. So this morning, thinking this and all the structure I have developed, and that resolved all the issue about, I have prepared, and they're gonna do it. So the rest of the time, I have to show you, because I'm doing something stupid, right? So I walked around and met people, and he was sitting in the bench, and we just talked a bit about, how wonderful this place, and it's like heaven, all that stories. and the young lady or the daughter was there talking her visit to Japan, and I had a good time. So by that time, I have processed this condo issue. It was depressing, but even before that, yesterday I posted in the video that I was managing. This can happen. Oh, if I think this can happen, then my breathing changes. Noticing my breathing changes, I can get back to the steady samadi state, so I can get in and out. And that's what I shared just yesterday. So this today is just, okay, that happened. So I thought about using the brain, but I did the preparation, so I'm off and clarify mind. So I don't have much of a depressed feeling at all. So I thought I said it. Maybe I had put the small black dot, because that's my exercise. If I have some emotional ups and downs, I put the black dot. But today, I haven't put the black dot yet. Because it's what it is. Everything is impermanent, and we do our best. And if everything's prepared, and find that I'm not suffering much, and talk to these people, and came back, and I want to show you something stupid. So I have nothing to do when I came back. My internet is slow, so I cannot do much. I produced one video and then put in the, this is about the meditation video. It takes 4 hours or something to upload. I didn't feel like going out and swimming or, spearfishing or anything, because I thought today is like what would be the example? The funeral of my condo. I cannot just jump around, do things like I want to be in the state of funeral or just quiet. So I started to get bored. And I said this, and that's the also interesting thing. Maybe you don't think it's interesting, but my mission in life is to do something good for myself, to help myself and help others and have fun. And I wondered about the word have fun and didn't quite fit to my mind. But to my taste, that was the feeling, that because I wanted to have me lively in living in the process of helping myself and helping others. That really makes sense. So I even talked with a Google Gemini about it. Maybe I'll put that one in this description if I can remember it. So I may have changed. I thought about changing the statement because having fun doesn't quite fit. But my spirit keeps saying that, no, that's like a childlikeness, to be creative, positive attitude, but somehow I couldn't get out of it. So I still have the sense, and I guess I'm trying to see if it flies. Because that statement of helping myself and helping people and having fun and have that as a mission and live every moment, so all of that can be processed. That was my ideal, and that was clear that I am doing, have been doing, but wanted to have the statement and even talking like this to see if it makes sense, because I may change in the future, but I feel this sense is very real. And like I said, this talk about the time that I came back after meeting these guys, I had a quiet time, but I'm not depressed. So what do I do? So this is what I did, because it's interesting. So here is the iPhone with the funny thing hanging around. The reason is that I forget why I put them. And then I thought, if I put this funny thing with a color, and because this is dark blue, it's not easy to find. So if I placed any place, it just stands out. I wrote a book, if it's important, make it visible. So this is one example. And you think it's stupid, but it's fun. That's the fun part of it. And I thought that's a great idea, that I may have less chance of looking for my iPhone. And that's one thing. And then I did another thing. Well, this is too long. Maybe I'm not going to talk about it. But anyway, just this briefly, this is the trouser I used like 15 years, 20 years in New Zealand. But it came to the point that there are lots of holes, and I didn't want to throw away. So I decided to save it, like this pocket, I can use it for something. And there's another one here. So I'm cutting out, even though like this is a piece that it's useless. But this is the part of the whole trouser that, I wore every year for maybe 15, 20 years, fly fishing all over. And this is such a good quality, and it's light. So anyway, so this is the kind of thing I did. And I was fascinated because here's the thing. This sounds stupid, but stupid doesn't matter if it works. So yesterday's case of some depression, feeling the change in my breathing, and refocusing on natural breathing, so that this steady state of my samadi, kick in, and then my mind get off, and a little later it pops up, and I feel it. I mentioned in the video that's like a biofeedback. The breathing changes to be a little bit more, and maybe my posture is changing there too, and my muscle may be tightening up. So what Vipassana may do is that I notice, not in the mind, but with some other activities that I'm doing, as a feedback mechanism, so that that kick in. Okay, go back to the steady state of samadhi, and back and forth. And it works so well. So it's kind of like the state of me feeling like a deer and amazed about the poplar leaves blowing. In that case, your mind is clear, so that there was no in and out. It's just going in and just be in that state. But the other one that I mentioned was in and out. And today afternoon was not much of in and out, because I thought, okay, it's clear. I've done that yesterday. I know it. It could happen. It happened. Everything's prepared and okay. So what else? I didn't want to go swimming and stuff. I just want to have this memorial. It happened. Nothing can be done. About 20 some years ago, I had lots of big chunk of money, and I was depressed. I was crying almost. I was in New Zealand at the time, and I worked hard and accumulated some money, and I lost it. And I was like in the beautiful country, fly fishing, and the beautiful sunlight, and the birds singing, bellbird. And then I was like the worst depressed time in my life. I still remember that. So that was before my case for this Vipassana and awakening. Maybe that triggered me to go through this breakthrough moment, because that was too much. But this time, no sadness, depression as much. And I feel like this is unreal. Because if you lose money, or, whole town is burned, and of course many people are so sad, and I feel compassionate sense out of it about the situation happening. Because I saw the video, and I saw the actual video of this condo burning, because of my friend sent me this stuff 7 hours ago or something. I talked to my ex-wife too. And the house we lived could be burned, but she couldn't tell. But she's safe. my tenants be safe, and I just want that I'm not hurting and not sad. That's not the point, because in a way the society may want me to be in the state of sorrow. I feel it, but not to the level like I felt 20 some years ago when I lost chunk of money. Why is that? Because at the time I had this heavy mind in the society that you have to achieve this and do this, and if you're reckless and lose something, it's stupid. And how could I do that? And I was punishing myself. There was me. Now, this is no self. I don't have me. That sounds ridiculous, right? It doesn't make sense, but that's what it is. I say samadhi is equivalent of no self and no mind, no thinking. So that is totally off the chart of the mind that society people would talk about. But I'm not there. I'm here, and I'm living my life. I have the compassionate feeling about all the things that happened. I know the town, I know the people, I know the library and the high school and this and that, and I saw all gone. Yeah. Maybe tonight I may cry. I'm not sure, but I'm just saying it because it's horrible. But I guess the point is that this no mind and self, no self, and samadhi, the process I clarified helped me to go through difficulties. And I feel I don't own anything. I go back to where I am, I will be, nothing, starting from nothing, and the society move on, and I give whatever can happen. That's all I can do. Other people may be different. They may be in the process of the work and all the money is tight and no place to go. But that's like my 20 some years ago. And we all go through that. Life is not easy. They always come with some pain. So I guess my point is when I say having fun is too much, especially looking at that kind of situation, but in the sense of being creative, to not to be confined in the mind, to be crushed and feel depressed, which I was in such a situation 20 some years ago, maybe worked out. The world is so turbulent, and this situation made the turbulent world to double turbulent because of this incident, and specifically happened in my case. So I thought I was unlucky, but it stayed not deep into hurting me. Again, by tomorrow morning I may feel different, because you never know, something pop up. But that's the reason, because the habitual pattern and like a seed of something that is growing back when you are not quite aware of it. But that's why we need to have this joriki, the sense of samadhi power of being in the state of, calm and quiet mind with no self and no mind, which is an avenue which may not work for everyone. But I'm just wanting to share openly this situation. Life is always come with the pain. I'm very sure about it. Some may be seen as lucky. Nobody knows what's inside of them. Even you are the richest person, who knows? Let's be careful and think of options and think of different references. I'm just sharing my take of what went through in my life for the benefit of anybody listening. But it may not work. But I tried my best to share what I have studied and practiced and what is coming out at age 76, and with the hope that this source of wisdom and compassion may be shared and approached by practicing this samadhi. In Tao Te Ching, which is Taoism, or Taoism we call, Lao Tzu said that this stuff, if people don't love, it's not called the way. So the way that I'm talking is very much like Lao Tzu, Tao Te Ching, talking about that first chapter, I believe, the passage which says, if you don't laugh at this way, that's not the real way, the way of how we live. So from the mind, it may not look real, and it sounds stupid. But wait, let's see. It's all I can do for now. You can have a choice, and I wish you the best. Thanks.